Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Slimey Sundays. I know it's been a while, and I am so excited to have you here. This is season 2, as I'm calling it, of Slimey Sundays because we're rebooting it. Slimey Sundays, if you didn't know, if you've never been here before, it is a monthly live show where expert Slimers from all around the world share their knowledge and expertise about slime. You'll learn the ins and outs of slime, from running a slime shop to growing an Instagram account. My name is Alyssa J, and my slime account is at Crafty Slime Creator. I am the author of Ultimate Slime, a slime recipe book, and I love sharing all of my tips and tricks with you guys. So today I have a very special guest. It's Wanderlust Slimes. Mia, you might recognize her from another episode where she was our Slimer shout out, and her account is just amazing. It's exploded. It's so awesome. And I'll let Mia introduce herself.
Hi guys, I'm Mia. I'm the owner of Wanderlust Slime. I'm 16 years old and I live in Texas, and I'm very excited to be a guest on today's episode of Slimey Sundays.
Thank you so much for coming, Mia. I was so excited that you were able to do this.
Me too.
Yes, we're just gonna have a chat about Mia's account, how she's grown, and how she does all that she does. So my first question for you is, what's your niche in the slime community, and how did you find it? And for people who don't know what a niche is, it's a specific little pocket of the internet that you focus on. So like for me, I'm crafty slime creator, so I always try to make really crafty and unique slime, and that's my niche. So Mia, what's your niche?
So if you don't follow my account, you probably wouldn't know this, but I make a lot of song-inspired slimes, specifically Imagine Dragons-inspired slimes. So once I kind of started liking their music a lot, I realized I was like, you know what, maybe I should make slimes inspired by the song names or song lyrics or whatever. So I've started doing that. And I also just kind of I have a color scheme on my account. If you go through my feed and scroll, it's mostly pink, purple, and blue, which I refuse to film times that aren't that color, because I just think it looks so nice and neat, and I always just have to have such an organized feed. And yeah, I kind of just make Imagine Dragon slimes, and
Yeah, that's so awesome. How did you decide that you wanted to stick to a color scheme? And because I feel like that could be kind of not limiting, but I feel like I would want to go outside of that. I feel like I would be kind of I would want to switch things around. So how do you stick to that and only do those slimes and not branch out, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard, but I feel like looking at feeds is so important. And for me, I edit my thumbnails, so I make them kind of bright and pastel. And when I started doing that with brown slimes and gray slimes, I was like, oh, it doesn't look as good with my other colors. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try and do this only specific color scheme, and maybe it'll look good and bright while I'm scrolling down my feed. But it is super limiting, because sometimes I'll get a really cool slime in the mail, and it'll be I don't know, a really cool black slime or something, and I'm like, oh, I want to film it, but it's gonna it's gonna mess up my feed. So it is really limiting, but I think especially for me, it's kind of worth it, because I feel like it's something that's kind of unique to me now, and people look, oh yeah, it's a color scheme.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And I think a big part of having a niche is that, so when you start out, you really need to have a specific niche. But then as your account grows and people become more invested in you and your account, you can kind of branch out a little more from your dedicated color scheme or whatever your niche is. You can branch out a little more, because people are more willing to watch, rather than when you're just starting out, you really want people to know exactly what you're posting about. You don't want if I'm following Mia and I'm used to seeing that color scheme, and you randomly post a slime that is totally different from what I'm used to and what I'm expecting from you, I'm going to be confused and maybe even unfollow or stop following your account, right? So you want to make sure, especially in the beginning when you're growing, that you stick to what people are expecting, and of course be creative with what you're doing, but just pick something and try your best to stick to it. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
And so how did you decide to make your slimes inspired by Imagine Dragons? I find that so interesting. I would have never thought to do that.
Yeah, I think honestly, I remember one day I was just making slime, and I made this really pretty purple pigmented one, and I was listening to music at the time, and I think I just heard the name of the song, and I was like, that'd be kind of a cool slime name. So I started doing that, and I noticed Imagine Dragons fans were like commenting like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, like could you do one inspired by this song, could you do one like inspired by this song?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I could, like I really like them, so like why not? So I started doing that, and I thought it would be something that's kind of unique. It's also kind of hard too, because I realized a lot of my followers aren't like fans of them, they don't know their songs, they're unfamiliar with the slimes I'm posting, but it's also kind of worth it because it's something that's like unique to me, because if people hear Imagine Dragons, they hear, oh, Mia, like I know Mia has slimes inspired by them. So I've gotten like
Exactly.
a bunch of stories like tagged in me, like when they come on the radio, they're like, oh my gosh, Mia, like when they
Mhm.
tag me, and I'm like, oh wow, it's something that's really
Mhm.
like people think of it
Yeah.
when they hear me.
You definitely, a tip is definitely to have people associate something with
Uh-huh.
you. So like I don't know about you, whenever I see like that crazy art glue, I think of Nicole Jacqueline and her
Mm-hmm.
account, because I'm like, I always think of her. Or
Yeah,
I think of Magic Dragons, or when I see parakeets, I think of Marissa. Like, like you try
definitely.
and tie yourself to that, or you tie yourself to a color scheme, or just try to, find something you enjoy. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
there's something totally random, like Imagine Dragons, I would have never thought to tie that into slime. But if it's something
Yeah.
you're really passionate about, like bring that, and people will see that, and they will, even if they don't know Imagine Dragons, or
Yeah.
they don't know about parakeets or anything like that, they will be excited because you're excited,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that is so cool how you did that.
Thank you.
And my next question is, how do you manage your time? Like, how do you juggle school with all of this? Because you're doing so much.
I am the worst at time management, so I'm probably not the best person to ask that question. And I know definitely in the past, I've definitely prioritized this account and slime over school, which hasn't been the best idea. So sometimes I like work too hard on slime and forget about my studies and stuff. But it's honestly just a matter of, okay, you need to, it's almost like with any like social media, you just need to like take some time away from your phone and know that like the people that are following you, they'll still be there, like if you have to take like a short day's break, if you have to study for a few hours. So it's kind of a matter of, okay, I will go on my Instagram, I'll post after I finish this assignment or something like that. But yeah, it is tough because you always just feel the need to be active. I need to be posting, I need to be like sharing my
Yeah.
content, or else people
Yeah.
are going to unfollow and everything like that. So
Mhm.
it's stressful, but you need to kind of, I guess, prioritize what you want. And sometimes slime will be your priority because it's honestly it's important. It teaches you a lot that school like
Yeah.
can't. It's like a hands-on business and like social media marketing experience. So it's
So true.
honestly
Yes.
like
Snaps. Yes, I totally agree with that.
it's like it's school kind of. Honestly,
Mhm.
it's like a hands-on learning experience. So
Yeah.
it should be a priority, but you should also of course focus on what you like need to be doing in your schoolwork and stuff.
Definitely. I especially like school is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would never say to focus on slime over your school. School should
Yeah.
always be a priority because education is so important. And
Mm-hmm.
slime is an amazing learning opportunity. Like you're saying, there's so much you can learn from slime that I've learned, you've learned. It's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And that you can't learn in a classroom. You have to really just
Yeah.
experience it, right? And
Yeah.
I think that is so important to prioritize. Like just like what you're saying, you need to
Mm-hmm.
prioritize your time and say, after I finish this assignment, I'll let myself go on Instagram for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, just you have to learn that self-discipline to be able to
Yeah,
do that. And it's
exactly.
really tough. Like I'm sure I struggle with it. I'm sure you struggle with it too all the
Uh-huh.
time. Because
Definitely.
when your phone, you're getting those likes and you're getting those comments and you're getting that interaction with people. You just want to go and just be wrapped up in that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember your priorities, whatever they are. If it's school or work or family, whatever your priority is, you need to remember that and
Yeah.
just keep that balance, right?
Uh-huh, exactly.
Definitely. So, also, you have such an awesome friend group of people who support you in the
Mm-hmm.
slime community. And I was wondering, just like, have you made friends in the community?
Honestly, a big part of that for me is from going to conventions, because when you go to conventions, it's more of that in real life click, and you can like become closer with a bunch of people, because it's not like you don't have to wait for them to respond. They're right in front of you. You can talk, you can like share your interests and stuff. And I think for me, because I made most of those friends starting online, I think it's just you find their account, you see their story posts, you love their personality, what they're showing you, you think you would be like good friends, and you just start talking and talking and talking, and then you just become great friends. And then when you meet in conventions, it's even better. Sometimes it can be a fail, and sometimes like your energies don't clash together exactly, and you're like, whoa, they were different than what I was expecting. But then sometimes you meet like the best friends ever, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And so, how did you initially like? I know a lot of people they're really nervous to reach out and to start
Mm-hmm.
that online. How did you go about starting that? Just that initial like taking that step to be like, oh hey, or reach
Yeah.
out to people. How did you do that?
I think honestly for me it was if I saw something on their story, if they posted something like, "Oh my gosh, look at this, like so funny," then I'd slide out and be like, "Oh, that's hilarious," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I feel like it's not that like you'd be like, "Oh, hi, like I'm Mia, like
Mhm.
how was your day?" It's more like finding something you both like immediately. Like especially I think stories is a really big part of that. Slide up on their story. Like if they say they're having a bad day, ask them like what happened? Are they okay? But if they post something funny, like relate to that and like laugh with them, and then that'll
Definitely.
start a conversation, because especially if it starts off as like a funny topic, then your like relationship will become like funny, and you'll like all be talking in capital letters, and it's just a fun time.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I get that question all the time, and it's just like I never really know how to perfectly answer that because a lot of it's
Mm-hmm.
just organic. It's just like, or it
Yeah.
feels organic, and
Yeah.
you just have to. You can't really force it. You need to just like you don't go into someone's DMs and be like, "I want to be your friend. Can you be my friend?" Like that's
Uh-huh.
the
That's
worst
not
thing.
how friends are made at all.
No, and don't ask for shout outs, don't ask for like
Mm-hmm.
don't ask someone to when someone asks me to follow them, I usually will not because I
Yeah.
I like to decide for myself, and
Yeah.
if someone's genuinely kind to me and nice, of course I'll follow them, but like, just there's just some
Yeah.
things like that, just try to just be genuine and nice and just treat,
Yes.
treat everybody like you would treat them in real life.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Definitely. And so my next question for you is how have you been such a success in the slime community? Because you are so amazing, so awesome.
Thank you. I think I think it's a lot about my feed, because I think when people see my account at first, it's all about what they see first. And I think that's one of the reasons I started my feed, was because okay, I know that they see my video on the explore page, that video will be the first thing they see. But if they go and click on my account and they like don't like my feed, they're like, "Oh, that post was different than what I like just saw. I wanted to follow for the content I just saw." But then they look at my feed and they're like, "Oh, I kind of like this." So I don't know. I think it's because when people like their first glance at my account, it's like a first impression, like in real life, like that's their first impression on my account, the colors, and I think that's been a part of the success I have achieved, and also I think sending reviews has helped me a lot, slime reviews, because then you kind of like get your name out there, and it's not a matter of if they follow you or not. It's have they heard about you before? Have they seen what your slimes look like? Have they like yeah, have they heard about you? Because I know a lot of slime accounts I don't follow, but I've seen them being reviewed, and if I hear their name, I'm like, oh yeah, I know them. Like I've heard of them before. So it's like a matter of like being able to get your name out there.
Definitely. And we did a whole episode on Slimey Sundays
Mhm.
about slime reviews specifically. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have it linked up in the cards and down in the description below, where we shed all the details on reviews with the queen of reviews on its slime reviews. She started it all, I feel like.
Mhm.
But yeah, so reviews are definitely something that I'm pretty sure I found your account through. I don't know which one it was, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it's not like you might not immediately see that return on sending your review. Like
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I saw your account a couple of times before I actually decided to check it out. So it's really tough for you to equate like, okay, because I sent this review to this person, I got this many followers. Like
Yeah.
it's really difficult. Like there's that thing like you have to see something X amount of times before you decide to click on it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just like spreading that, just getting out there as much as you can, and just connecting with other creators in their
Yeah.
description, like in their comment section and things like that, just connecting as many ways as you can and just putting yourself all over the slime community, but not in a
Mhm.
spammy way, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
It's like having like a pair of Nike shoes, or it's like not having a pair of Nike shoes, but you know about the brand. Like you know who they are, but it's like no, you don't. Is that a weird
Mhm.
comparison? I just thought of
No,
that.
I think that works. Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. Like getting people aware, like brand awareness, just like
Yeah.
knowing who you are. I
Yeah.
think is really important. So yeah, I just was really curious how you did that, and definitely reviews, being
Mhm.
out there in the slime community, and like you said earlier, your Imagine Dragon slime, because you're so connected with Imagine Dragons, whenever people heard you on the radio, they took a photo and was like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Mia right now,
And that
you know?
also kind of spreads it too. Like when people
Mhm.
like talk about you to their friends, they're like, "Oh, like, I just heard this song. I thought of Mia. Who's Mia?" Click,
Mhm.
click. Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of starts like that.
exactly. Yes. So those are some easy ways to, up level your account if you
Mhm.
want to think of it that way. And so you also talked about how the aesthetic of your account played into that. And so how do you go about actually getting that aesthetic? So like what apps do you use? Like tell us all of the juicy details.
Okay, I get a lot of questions about my lighting, and it's just natural lighting. I sit outside by my pool and I have this whiteboard that I film on, and the sun shines down. That's how I get my lighting. I don't use anything artificial. And for my thumbnails, I used to have Visco, VSC. I don't if I think you just say Visco. But I really don't have a set thing that I do on there. I kind of play with the um levels for each one. Like I adjust the brightness, the exposure, stuff like that, and I just edit with iMovie. I feel like I do the simplest things, but it like looks like unique.
Yeah.
Like I just edit
Mhm.
with iMovie. I don't
Mhm.
do a thing about me is I don't do creative videos. I just like film slimes. I don't really film like mixings or like I don't do a lot of like the cool stuff that like, whoa, you want to see that. For me it's just kind of like slime videos, I guess.
Yeah, and, like, we need all types of accounts out there, like,
Uh-huh.
I like to do those crazy videos because that's what I personally enjoy doing, that's just what
Mhm.
I like, so and you like just filming that ASMR, those
Yeah.
aesthetic, satisfying videos, like, that's perfectly alright, you don't need to follow other trends to be
Mhm.
popular in the slime community or to gain followers, as you can see from Mia's account, like, you're not chasing any trends,
Mhm.
you're just
I do not do any
yeah,
trends.
you're just doing you're staying in your lane and doing what you enjoy, right?
Uh-huh.
And you are also having you're not just like in your own bubble and just doing like whatever you feel like. You're also thinking my aesthetic,
Mhm.
what are people looking for in when they come to my account and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely think that your aesthetic is a main thing of a main point of your account because that's why I followed when I saw it because
Mhm.
I was like this is satisfying and I like how this looks it's aesthetically pleasing and that might
Mhm.
be shallow but when an account is like it's aesthetically pleasing it looks
Yeah.
nice and it looks professional people are more inclined to follow you know
Mhm.
so that's a big reason of
Exactly.
why I followed your account anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how do you have any tips for like growing on Instagram and stuff like that?
Honestly, if you're scrolling through your feed, comment on videos. Just comment, comment, comment. But do
Yes.
not avoid the follow for follow, avoid the self promotion, but comment something nice. Comment, I love this video. The colors are so pretty. Answer the question. And I think that's people scrolling through, if they're commenting, they'll see your comment. They might click. Just comment on a bunch of videos and just be nice about it. Because, like, self promo, if people see you self promo, a lot of people these days, they don't like that. They will not follow you. But if you comment something nice, that's a better shot. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is that the self promo is not helping you. Okay, it's not helping. I
Yes.
promise. If
Yeah.
I see a comment like that, it's like please follow me. I'm gonna delete it. But if you say something nice, that makes me more inclined to like check out your account. It's
Mhm.
seriously like people just need to think the opposite way. And also setting reviews. I know we mentioned this earlier. That does help a lot for me personally.
Mhm.
Trying to think of what else.
Yeah, I definitely agree with like commenting and interacting with the community. That is
Mhm.
so important. And comment on other people's account. Comment like check out your follower list and go through your follower list and find the slime accounts in there. Like sometimes I just type in slime and I check out a bunch of accounts that have
Mhm.
the word slime in their username, and I like and I comment on my followers posts, or
Mhm.
I will check out hashtags as well, like hashtag slime,
Yes,
hashtag
hashtags.
slime community, and I'll go in there and I'll like and comment and just genuinely not just
Uh-huh.
spammy like copy and pasting like oh, I'm a new account. Obviously, I'm not a new account. Would not do
Yeah.
that. But like, you know, don't do stuff that's like spammy because people can
Yeah.
tell. Believe me, they can tell. So like, just be genuine with your comments, and
Mhm.
people will read them and be interested. Especially if you leave longer, detailed comments where people actually know you watched the video, you
Mhm.
are interested in slime, and you're knowledgeable about slime. You know, you're not just like randomly commenting. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, hashtags, I forgot about that. That's a big thing too. I go through the hashtags a lot and I just like a comment. And it has to be like nice stuff. Like find something about the video you actually like. Don't comment, I love this video. I love this video. I love this video. Like
It's
find something unique about the video.
yeah, like just find something that you relate to, or in the caption if the question really resonates with you and you're
Mhm.
like, I have something to say, then like, you know, stuff like that is what
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah, that definitely helped me grow a lot in the beginning as well. And you just have to put in the time to do that, you know.
Mhm.
It's not gonna just happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
You have to just comment a lot and interact a lot, and chat with people in your DMs and get to know people, and
Yeah.
just be genuine with it, you know? Yeah, definitely. So a real question here related to Instagram.
Okay.
And so what actually worked to grow your account? Like, you know, there's a lot of tips out there that are like, you know, you should do X, Y, and Z, and then this will make your account magically
Mhm.
blow up. But I a lot of the time I don't necessarily agree with those.
Yeah.
So what actually helped you?
Being active,
Mhm.
posting. And I know I'm very bad at posting actively, but in the past, like I think posting a lot helped me get that boost. It helped me gain the followers that I have now. It's just being active, posting a bunch. And I know that's the top tip people say, but really, like, how else are people going to find your account without finding your posts? Like, that's the biggest thing. Um, do questions, do questions of the days in your comments, or in your post, because I feel like if you don't have a question, you'll get less comments. You might get like 10 comments on your post, but if you do a question, you might get like 300, 400. And I think I've heard with the Instagram algorithm that more comments like help like promote your post. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've seen that. And so I think if people comment longer things on your post, that'll help boost it, show it to more people, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah.
Like, you don't want people just commenting like a string of emojis. You want them
Uh-huh.
actually commenting genuine things related to the video, or just or anything about
Mm-hmm.
you just want to start a conversation in the comments. That's really, really important.
Yes.
And I know you're so good at doing these games in your comments. I know you played a really, really involved one. I'm remembering
The
that
paranoia one.
you had to send a lot of DMs. Do you
Uh-huh.
want to explain that to everybody and what you
Yes.
did?
So I
We got
played
so
this
many
game
comments
and
on
it
that.
was
We got so many comments. So it was so
yeah, I think I got like 800 comments on that. That was one of my most commented posts. But it was this game called Paranoia, and what I people had to DM me a heart, and I would respond back to them with a question. And the question would be something along the lines, everyone had a different question. It would be like, who's your favorite Slimer? Who's your least favorite Slimer? Who do you think like is keeping the community alive right now? Who do you like, stuff like that about slime? And people will come back to the post and tag the person, but they wouldn't say what the question was. So when the person got tagged, they're like, oh, is it a bad thing? Like, am I their least favorite or their favorite? So you wouldn't know. And so I had to answer a lot of DMs. I mean, if I got 700 comments, imagine how many DMs I had to answer. But it was honestly worth it because it was fun to see people really interacting and like really like enjoying the games you were playing. And it's not just like, what's your favorite color, you know? So
Mhm.
it's like kind of um, like a personal game, like more involved. And I do a lot of stuff like that. This is my first time doing like one of the DM things, but I do a lot of like long games that are like um, not necessarily like add your points up, but sometimes it'll be like add your points up. If you got this, keep going. If you didn't, you're out. So then you keep going, and it's a long time to think of them, but it's honestly worth it because I know a lot of people like my games, and that's I think that's another thing I'm recognized for. I do a lot of caption games, so
Yeah.
that might be another thing.
And that's awesome. And when you, especially if you have the time when you're starting out, like I know a lot of accounts you reached, like I reached the point where it was just really, really tough to keep up,
Mm-hmm.
with doing a super, super long captions. And I just wanted
Yeah.
to get my content
Because
out
you
there.
post
So
a lot too.
yeah, I post quite a bit. So I just wanted to get my content out there because that's what
Yeah.
people really, really want. And I didn't have the time to keep up with the more fun captions and keep on the trends in the captions. But when you're a smaller account and you have the time and
Uh-huh.
you really want to grow your account, look at the trends that are happening. And of course, if you ever are inspired by anybody else's caption, make sure you say that in your
Yeah.
caption. You don't want to just copy and paste someone else's caption because that's rude.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's another thing because like this is your game that you totally came up with
Mm-hmm.
this new caption idea, and if you are inspired by it or you do a spin-off of it, like say I was inspired by Wanderlust Slimes, it never
Yeah.
hurts to say you're inspired by somebody. It doesn't hurt you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the nice thing to do in the
Yeah.
community.
I got
Yeah.
a lot of tags in that too, like inspired by Wanderlust Slime. And I
Mhm.
was like, okay, that's really nice because I know a lot of people tend to not give like inspiration credits. So I don't care if you like use my game and give me inspiration credits because
Mhm.
like if you're
And it's
being
just good.
nice.
It's good for you because then your account is being spread more,
Yeah,
and
it's being
it's
promoted.
great for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because then your post gets more comments because you're playing a fun and interactive game, and
Yeah.
you're supporting another account who came up with this, who you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be able to ask this question if you hadn't found their thing that they created, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just another tidbit. Don't forget to give inspiration creds.
Yes.
So, how do you have such active followers on your account? Because I know you always get tons of comments and likes and all that type of stuff, which really helps with the Instagram
Yeah.
algorithm.
I'm definitely really thankful for that because I know a lot of people who tend to have a lot of followers, they talk about how their account isn't very active anymore. So I'm definitely lucky to have active followers. I think it honestly is because I ask the questions, because when you ask questions, you get more comments. So I think that makes it look like and I do have a lot of active followers, but it's really, I think it's the questions too. And it's also, I think the biggest thing, honestly, to like spread your slime account, I didn't mention it earlier, but to have a really like unique, not, it doesn't even have to be unique, but show your personality. Show your personality. Like on your stories, show, like if you're not comfortable, you don't have to show your face, but show what you're doing. Talk personally about yourself to your fans because they'll relate and connect to you more, and they'll be like, okay, I'm not just interested in this person's like posts and slime, but I'm interested in them. I want to know what they're doing. I want to follow them as a person too. And so I think that's how like Parakeet Slimes really got out there. She
Mhm.
has a very unique and like recognizable personality, and I think that's a big thing about it too. So I try to share a lot about myself on my story and stuff, and also in my feeds. Like I personalize my captions too, so it's not like here's the slime post, but I'm like, oh hey guys, like I'm so tired today or something, just something like that. That sounds, I don't know, but
Yeah,
something like that.
definitely. Yeah, that's something that I have to work on. I'm just, you might not know it, but I'm introverted.
Uh huh.
I'm kind of shy. I'm more like, that's just who I am. And it's really
Mhm.
tough for me to put myself out there on the internet
Yeah.
and share
Definitely.
that. And it's in a way, it's being vulnerable,
Mhm.
And because, when you're putting yourself out, your person, like when I'm putting my slime out there, I'm okay if people criticize my slime because like,
It's not me.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not like it's fine, like I'm not gonna, but when people criticize me and what I like and my personality, it's really tough
Mhm.
for me. And so I try to do things like Slimy Sundays like this where you guys can see me and see the face behind the slime because
Yeah.
we're all people, and it's just really important to remember that.
Mhm.
So, I'm definitely, that's something I need to work on. You do so well. Like Mia, I always know like you are really, self-care is so, it's so, like whenever I go on your story, you're always posting,
Yes.
like take care of
Mental
yourself,
health.
guys, mental health.
Mhm.
Um and also like you just get those big sister vibes from you because you're always
Oh.
answering people's questions and chatting and just being
Mhm.
kind and genuine. And that's like whenever I think of Mia, I just think of that because that's what she's always putting out there online,
Mhm.
right? And so you want to be known for something about your
Yeah.
personality. And that's definitely something I need to work on. I feel like I just posted a ton of slime and I need to
Mhm.
work on, like I'm not perfect and I need to work on stuff as well. And, leave a comment down below what if whatever you need to, what have you gotten from this that you think you can implement on your account, because I definitely think I can do this more. This is definitely a tip that I will take to heart. Yeah. So my next question for you is, what do we do about the Instagram algorithm that everybody always has something to say about?
Oh, it's awful. I don't really think there's like a way to break it, but you can, like, I see a lot of like articles. It's like, here's how to break the Instagram algorithm, but like, it's just, I don't think there's a way. I think it's just people like telling you like how to get your account more active. But I think, um, it's honestly, I know I said this a bunch, but like, be active. Like, I know people said, okay, take a break, like like if you don't post for 5 days, then your algorithm resets, and then if you don't post, people like will start seeing your posts again. But I think you just have to keep keep posting. Don't listen to like what people are telling you to do. Don't change what you're doing with your account, because I know a lot of people are like, if you're not growing, then you're doing something wrong, but that's not necessarily it. Sometimes it's just like the lack of algorithm, but you just have to keep fighting, keep pushing through. Like, it's not
Mhm.
over, don't quit. Like, it's
Mhm.
okay. And also, I
Yeah.
think I know it's really like discouraging to see your post not getting as many views or comments or likes, but it's also like, why did you start Slime? Did you start it because you like it, or did you start it because you wanted followers? So I think
Mhm.
it's a matter of like prioritizing that too. So like, I know you definitely want to break through. You want to get more views because you don't want to just like be at the same pace forever and never grow. But if you have a discouraged attitude about that, it's not going to happen. So you just have to be positive, keep pushing through, like keep just believe in yourself, and
Yeah.
you'll get there eventually.
I love that. That is so awesome. Remember why you started and what inspired you in the
Mhm.
beginning, and just hold on to that. And also make
Mhm.
those genuine connections. That's what's really gotten me through a lot, is just like, I know I have my friends who I can talk to in the slime community if I'm ever feeling down, and I
Mhm.
can chat with someone, I can DM you, talk to her, or just whatever friends you have in the slime community, talk to them, and just like,
Yeah.
you're not alone, and everybody else is feeling these things. Even every size account has their own things that they're trying to figure out.
Mhm.
And the Instagram algorithm, sometimes you have to not blame the algorithm, and just figure out what you can do and what you
Yeah.
are realistically can do, right? Like,
Mhm.
like if you can't post every day, or you can't post however many times a week that you want to be posting, like, just post once a week, and you can do that realistically with your time and your schedule, and don't compare yourself to what others are able to do,
Yeah.
because like, you don't know, like right now I'm on summer break and I have time to film a bunch of slime videos, right? But if you have a job, or you are like, whatever you're doing, like, you just can't compare yourself, right? That's a
Yeah.
big thing, because I fall into the comparison game all the time, where I'm like,
Mhm.
so and so are doing so much, like, why am I not
Same.
doing more, right?
Yeah.
But you just have to remember, this is why
Everyone's
I'm doing.
different. Yeah.
Everyone's different. Totally agree. I love that just focus on what you're doing, and
Yeah.
everything will work out in the end.
Yeah, and it's not always about the followers too. Like, you could have like 400,000 followers and you like get like 1,000 views on your post, but you could have 5,000 followers and get 10,000 views on every one you post. So don't be discouraged by like, especially the amount of followers you have, because that doesn't determine your activeness. You could have 500,000 followers and have 5,000 active people, but you could have 5,000 followers and all of those be active. Like, it's not, numbers don't really like matter. Like, it's the number of followers you have has been like really like talked about recently, but it's not everything. Like,
No. Yeah.
followers really aren't everything. It's
Hmm.
just like, you have to have a good group of people, like good group of
Hmm.
fans, good group of like, you know.
Hmm. Definitely agree with that so much. And so, I was curious if you have any tips for just easy tips for standing out, like tips that anybody can follow, that are apart from the Instagram algorithm, forgetting all of that, but just tips that are easy for people to implement quickly on their accounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, I think finding something to associate you prefer people to associate you with, like finding something that makes you unique and talking about it, making sure people know that's you, like that's what you like to do. Like, like the cotton candy with bookshelf slimes. Like, every
Yeah.
time I see cotton candy, I think of Rachel.
Hmm.
It's just like that. You have to be connected to something. Another tip would be, I think, try and find something not necessarily with your feed, but maybe something even in your bio. Like, do you do like riddles in your account,
Mhm.
like a really unique profile picture, like something like that, like a symbol too. Like, I know a lot of people have like symbols as their profile picture. Like, you could have like a dolphin, like just something like something that people recognize you as.
Totally agree with that. That is such a great quick tip that you can implement because
Mm-hmm.
whatever you like, if you like dolphins, if you like Imagine Dragons, well, probably not that because that's a thing. Like if you like a band or if you like
Mm-hmm.
if you whatever little specific thing that you are passionate about, share that because there
Yeah.
are definitely other people out there who that will resonate with and they will start associating that with you. So
Yeah.
that is a great quick tip that you can start doing right now. So I want
Yeah.
all of you to go and comment. What are you going to have people associate you with?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be a band? Is it going to be a color scheme? Is it going to be an aesthetic? What do you or a symbol? What is it that you want people
Mm-hmm.
to associate with your account? We would love to hear from you. Either comment in the chat while it's premiering or down below in the regular comment section. So, talking about aesthetics and feeds, is there a strategy when you're creating posts that you use for the overall look of your feed? I know we talked about that you do your pastel colors and pinks, blues, purples, I think. And is there any other way for your feed? Any tips you can give anybody for figuring out what they can do? Because yours is really specific.
Yeah.
What was your thought process behind that and things like that that
Um,
other people can go through themselves to figure out what they want to do?
yeah, I think a lot of it, um, I was inspired by Slime Bun a lot. She doesn't really do this anymore, but she used to have like the thumbnails that are super zoomed in, like it's like the slime is all you can see, and so you can't see any in the background.
Mhm.
She used to do that, and so I started doing that too. But I edited my thumbnails like a lot to make it bright, and I think it was like on accident that did the color scheme, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, your feed looks so good right now," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it kind of does," and so then like I would post like a different colored slime and I hated it and everyone was like, "Oh, like that doesn't look good in your color scheme." So I think it was a lot of people talking to me about it,
Mhm.
giving me their feedback. But I think to find out what you can do is like go through the accounts that you follow, find something that inspires you. If
Mhm.
you don't copy them directly exactly, but find something that inspires you and think about what you could do. Do you have a unique background? Do you film on, like, I know a lot of people have like those really like sparkly colorful backgrounds that they switch up every time. If you have something like that, you could do different backgrounds. You could do like only certain colored slimes, which I do, but it is limiting. So once you get stuck in that rabbit hole, it's hard to get out because then like people associate with you with that. They don't want you to do anything different. You could do all zoomed in thumbnails like that. There's a lot of different stuff you could do. Just find your inspiration.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. You need to draw inspiration from others and create your own unique vibe and bring whatever like if you have a background in other things, bring that in. Like if you're really passionate about music, maybe you want to do like some music mixing videos where you
Yeah.
like whatever passion you have outside of slime or like you might not know how you can mesh the two right now, but if you want to comment your other passion, we can try and help you figure out right
Yeah.
now like how can you mesh those into slime because you never know how you can, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely do that with your feeds, and a lot of it is like you said is listening to feedback from people
Mm-hmm.
and just start. The thing I recommend is just do it. Just start your account, and then just listen to people's feedback. It can be tough
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you get criticism on your account because not a lot of the time it's not constructive criticism, it's just people being
Yeah.
mean.
It's just criticism.
Yeah, it's just mean criticism. But
Yeah.
sometimes there are those constructive criticism that you need to take into account and think, okay, how am I going to implement? And you don't have to listen to everybody. Like everybody has different opinions, of course, but if you find yourself getting a lot of the same feedback, either positive or negative,
Yeah.
like if you see like everybody was telling you, I love your pastel thumbnails, I love them so much, and that's that positive feedback. And then when you started posting the other color slimes, you got some negative feedback, and
Yeah.
Like, of course, you don't have to listen to them. You could have kept posting your any color slimes and made that work.
Yeah.
Or but you decided to listen to that feedback you were getting and implement that feedback. But I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
got other feedback as well. Like people
Yeah.
have said that,
Do what you
oh, I don't like
want.
your edited thumbnails, or I don't like
Yeah.
this or that. But you didn't listen to that because that's something
Yeah.
that you wanted to keep and you were really passionate about. But, you just have to think, you have to listen to what your audience is telling you, because
Mm-hmm.
they give so much valuable feedback that, it might not be the algorithm that is hating you. It might just be like you need to just try and listen to your audience a little,
Yeah.
poll them, ask them on your story, what do you
Yeah.
want to see? Why did you follow me? Because some people might have followed for one specific video that you posted, and they're just waiting, expecting more of that, and you're just not
Mm-hmm.
giving that because you thought, oh, maybe people didn't like it. It didn't get a ton of views, but you ended
Yeah.
up getting a lot of followers from it or something like that. So asking your audience is super important, and what
Talk
they.
to them, ask what they like about your account, and just like feed off of that.
Mhm. Definitely. I
Definitely.
think you've done so well with that, because that is how you've really developed your account, right? You asked
Yeah.
people, or you listen to their feedback, and it might be limiting to post your color scheme, but you've grown to like it, I think, and
Yeah.
it's just been and that's just what you enjoy and what you're known for. So listen to
Yeah.
your audience is definitely a great tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, switching around to another question, it's what do you use to film now versus when you started? If it's changed at all, or if you use the exact same setup, just like I want
Yeah.
to know that like you don't need to, like right now I film with an iPhone still, but I've upgraded and I use lights. But when you start out, you don't need to use all that. So how did you start your filming
Yeah.
setup, and how has that evolved? How have you upgraded anything and stuff like that?
Mine honestly hasn't changed that much since I started filming videos. I've used the same tripod. It wasn't even a tripod I bought. Well, I found it in my brother's room, and he had never used it. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to take this. And I've used that ever since. I've never changed my tripod. I've always used my phone to film. I did get a new phone, but I don't think that's like affected it really. And at the very beginning of my account, I filmed indoors on actually like where I'm sitting right now. I filmed here, but then I kind of evolved outside, and I liked the more natural lighting. And I did studio lights somewhere in between there, but it like personally it wasn't working out for me. I don't know how people can manage to make studio lights look so good, because for me like it just like I had a bunch of shadows and I did not like that. So I was like, okay, I'll just stick with outdoor lighting. So it's really, I think one word to describe my like setup would just be natural. Like I just use the simplest things. I don't use a mic or anything. Like I literally, it's so basic and simple, which is like anyone can do it. Like I just film outside by my pool with my brother's tripod and my phone. Like I really don't do anything special at all.
Yeah. So, guys, you can do like if you want to, and you can. Well, some people you might need to use lighting because
Mm-hmm.
you can't film during the day when there's good
Yeah.
natural lighting, and that's perfectly all right. Or, you just want to use natural lighting, and that works great. That's what I
Yeah.
did for a really, really long time in my account, until I had to start filming at night because school was really busy and I just couldn't fit it in,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you've dealt with the struggle of when you get home from school and the sun is not up
Yes.
anymore. And I'm sure you guys have dealt with the struggle as well. Drop a comment below if you have, because this struggle is real with sunlight.
Uh-huh. For
um,
real.
it's not consistent and it's annoying, and that's why the main reason I switched to studio lights is just because I need that, because when I want to film and when I'm in the zone for filming, I just do so many videos.
Yeah.
Do you have any system like that for you, where you do you film a bunch? Like what's your workflow for like when do you film and when do you edit, and how do you stay consistent? Because I know you pre-film sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and so like how do you do that?
Well, for me, my filming setup, first of all, is so hard to get because the lighting, I have to film on the most specific days. Like it has to be like the exact like weather or whatever. I cannot film if there's no clouds outside, because if I were to go outside right now, it'd be super sunny and it'd just be like shadows. But the days, like if you look at my account, the videos that I'm filming, the weather then was super cloudy, like barely any sunlight, which is like, but it looks weird because my like lighting
Mhm.
is so bright, but it has to be so specific. So when I do that, I will film so much. I will film at least a month and a half worth of videos, like so much. And and that's like posting once a day. So I'll film
Mhm.
like 60, 70 videos at a time, because I
Mhm.
know I will not get the same lighting opportunity again. So, and then also because it's hard to get consistent lighting, so I want to be able to film a bunch, so it's not like one post I filmed today, another post I filmed tomorrow, and then I post them and the lighting's different because it's natural lighting. So I just try and film a bunch. And then usually after I'm done filming, I'll edit a few videos for the future. But then most of the time I'll edit before I post. And then
Yeah.
I'll post it. I don't usually edit because it would take a long time to edit, like a bunch of them at a time.
Yeah.
So I usually edit before I post.
A lot of Slimers I talk to, they do the similar thing. You have to, I think a really big important thing is to learn how to batch record, batch film, do things in batches, because it's so much easier when you're in that zone, or if you're like me and you have to film at this specific time when your house is quiet, or in this, or like whatever, like, you know, you have to meet, like, get in that, because I feel like once you're, it's harder to, like, if you film one video every day you have to set up your tripod every day. You have to do, like, instead you just set up your tripod once and film a bunch, and then that just cuts down your time by a ton. And because when you're juggling so much, especially an account, a shop, you know, school, a job, whatever you have in your life, like, you want things to go as quickly and as efficient as possible. And I think you've really mastered that. 60 or like however many videos I can probably, I used to film so much more at one time, but I've just found myself, like, it's just because I started to do, like, I always try to constantly change and improve, and I'm sure you do as well. And now I find myself, I want to do more involved, longer videos, so those take more time, and I've had to switch from posting every single day to every other day. I post those longer videos, and then I post shorter videos on my off days, I guess you could say. Like, that's what I've been doing, and it's been working for me. And you just have to be open to that change, you know? Like, I was nervous when I started doing that. I was like, well, this has been working, like, posting every single day has been working so well for me for so long. And, you know, if I switch, what's going to happen? And it's fine. Like, you know, like, you just have to try it out and see, right? Yeah. Definitely. So, I know you mentioned Slime Bun was an inspiration for your account, but do you have any other avenues that you gained inspiration from for your account?
I think, definitely Slime Bun, I think, was my biggest inspiration for my feed. Also, for my captions, I think I started doing a lot of caption games inspired by Slime Yoda. She does a lot of fun captions in her games. I was inspired by that. I'm trying to think of, I think Milk Bun Slime for my feed too. Her feed's like
Quality,
super pastel.
it.
It's like so aesthetic, and I think I was like, ooh, I want an aesthetic like that. And that's an example of, like, not copying. Like, if you look at Milk Buns and my feed, they're totally different. But I was, like, inspired by her. I was inspired by the aesthetic of her account, but I, like, used it and I turned it into my own. And, like, you wouldn't be able to tell I was inspired because it's so different. But, like, it's still, that's the point of inspiration, is to be inspired by something but make it look totally different.
Yes, totally agree with that. And that's a great example of, like, if you guys pull up Milkman Slime's account and then compare it to Mia's, they totally have a, like, hers is very, I think it's like pops of color and then, like, a plain background, but very, like, they all have a similar editing style, color scheme. And then you look at Mia's and you can see how she drew inspiration, but they look totally different. You know? So that's definitely so cool. That's a straight comparison, I guess you could say, that it really does apply. And so my next question is for you is, how do you balance making really creative or artistic slime videos with the allure of views with more popular, maybe clickbait slime videos? Like, how do you balance that?
I've had a lot of internal conflict with that because I see so many. I think, like, the shaving cream videos are really popular right now. Like, you put it in a bag and you, like, squeeze it and it comes out everywhere. But I think for me, I've never seen those videos and been like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to do that. Like, I think we talked about this earlier too, but I just do, like, slime videos. Like, I don't do, like, I know you do so many cool things, like, so much, like, different, like, metallic mixings and, like, so many cool things. But, like, for me, it's just, like, slime either I've made or I bought. That's really it. I don't really do mixings or anything. And so it has been hard because I know the other things is what gains views, but I'm just like, of course, like, views are not necessarily important, but of course you don't want to get, like, 5 views on your videos. You want to keep producing the views and such. But yeah, I think for me, I was like, oh, okay, like, I think I'm gonna stick where I've grown, because I've never been one to do this kind of video. So I was like, maybe it's just not what people follow me for. Maybe I should just stick with that. So I've never really done any of the, like, creative or autistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, so it's all up to what, it's just what you want to do, right?
Yeah, it's up to you.
It's up to you, and you make your account what you want to make it. Like if you like those videos, like the shaving cream videos, and that are super satisfying, and you like following trends and trying new
Yeah.
things, then go for that, do that. But if you personally enjoy making more artistic slimes, or like
Yeah.
I think of your account as like it's like not old school slime, but it's like that satisfying ASMR.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get every time
Yeah.
I click on Mia's videos. You play with slime in a specific way that like
Uh-huh.
it's like it's Mia. I know it's Mia when I see it. I don't even have
Yeah.
to look at the username, right? And so there's different, like everybody can do their own thing, and we have space in the community for everybody,
Yeah.
for every a type of account that wants to do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have space for everybody, and it's not a competition. We have space for everybody
Yeah.
to do what they want to do, and that's just
Yeah.
and I think it's really important to remember we're all people behind the screen, and that's a big reason why I've started back up Slimy Sundays, and I started Slimy Sundays in the first place, is to
Mhm.
get to know these Slimers, because we're all people, and we all have a lot of thoughts about different things, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's really tough to share those sometimes in our captions, because being vulnerable, it can be tough, or
Mhm.
just like branching out from just talking about slime, or just talking about questions that we do in our captions, right?
Yeah.
It can be tough, and I just wanted to start that conversation, and I hope that you guys watching have those conversations with your friends, and just continue this, because
Yeah.
it's so important to have your personality and not let yourself just be focused on just slime sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so, so much, Mia, for coming
Of
on here and
course.
doing this. This was so much fun. And everybody, make sure you check out Mia's account and her shop, everything. I'll have it linked down below in the description. Make sure you check it out. As you guys know, we've been talking about her aesthetic account the whole entire time. It is so amazing. Um, any last things, any last tidbits you want to tell everybody, Mia?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me on, Alyssa. It's been so much fun. I love just like chatting about slime. It's just a ton of fun, and I've been watching Slimy Sundays for a while, and
Oh,
it's just so exciting that I get to be on it now. It's so cool. So thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you everybody for tuning into this episode of
Yes.
Slimy Sundays. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell down below for more from me, including future Slimy Sunday episodes. You can find the Slimy Sundays playlist down below if you want to catch up on all of the episodes. See you guys next time. Bye.